Good morning, America. Welcome to another State with Your Chest podcast. If you woke up on the right side of the dirt this morning, let me get 2 chest beats and a Ric Flair. Woo! Yeah, so today is going to be an interesting day. But let me first, have to correct somebody because last episode I said something and it was questionable. But I did my research.
You question yourself.
I did my research and I was proven right.
Well, you do like Donald Trump when he said something.
But hold on.
He just keeps going. He mess up all kind of words.
But let's introduce ourselves. It's your boy Chest Out Rudy, aka Haitian Fresh, aka Haitian Sensation, G.I. Joe, but just call me Chest Out Rudy.
Hey.
It's your boy Chest Out Corey, aka Commercial Corey, Mr. Walking Billboard. Chest Out.
It's your boy Jay Daniels, a.k.a. Mr. HMBL TV, a.k.a. Black Buddha, a.k.a. tell your girl to stop calling my phone.
Yes, Lord.
Hey, how did I know he was going to say that again?
Hey, boy. It was your mama last time.
It was your mama last time.
But, I had to start off this show to redeem myself because last show I was questioned on a word that I used, but I checked it out. I mean, I had to check it out and make sure that I was right.
What word were we talking about again?
Oh, I don't even remember the word. I don't remember.
It's wrong.
It is a word. I found it, and I'm right.
And it's the crazy thing about it, I woke up the next morning to it, right? So I guess he went to Webster and looked the word up. And I'm like, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and Rudy's trying to prove me wrong.
Of course, I got to, man. But now, let's kick it off going into what's happening.
What's happening?
What's going on?
So, Corey, tell them a little bit something.
So, okay. It's all about California right now.
California, what is it? California, A?
Man, listen. The city of Los Angeles, bro.
City of champions, man.
You had the Lakers 4-2.
4-2.
They just won a chip.
And then the Dodgers.
Got it.
The Dodgers 4-2.
4-2.
And they beat our Tampa Bay Rays, bro.
I know.
I was looking forward for Tampa Bay,
Me too.
winning the championship.
We
That
all
would
were,
have been
man.
cool.
We
That would
all
have been
were.
cool, but
Even
nah,
though
it
they right
wasn't.
down the road.
It wasn't like that. But LeBron's happy. He wants to have a parade, but obviously you can't really have a parade with coronavirus going
Too
on.
much.
A COVID
Stay
parade?
safe.
Huh?
A COVID parade, 6 feet apart? They can make it happen.
How many people are you gonna have at this parade, man? Nah, it's not gonna happen.
We're talking about California, bro.
No, it's not going to happen. But another thing I wanted to talk about is this. This is going to be a topic for weeks to come, actually, until the election, at least. Mail-in ballots, man. I read something that says that a lot of the mail-in ballots aren't being counted or being received. So if you haven't already mailed in your ballots, I don't know. You probably want to do another something else and try to go in and vote early or something.
Well, just go to your local library.
Yeah.
Or your local registration and just vote. Stand in line for a little bit.
I went the other day. The lines actually weren't that bad. And
No.
I was in line for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even stay in line. I just went right in and just voted.
Oh, see, nice.
Easy.
That's just like that.
Yeah, just easy. I mean, done.
Well, you a celebrity, Rudy.
Celebrity,
So when you walk up to the door, they're like, "Who is this G.I. Joe film?"
Hey, everybody, make way,
Whatever.
make way.
Yeah. The Greek god is coming in.
Whatever, man.
Haitian sensation.
That's little Moses. Little Moses.
Hey, but you have something on breast cancer that you wanted to talk about real quick. It's important. It's still Breast Cancer Aware Month, so we want to still make sure that everybody's aware of this. And Corey got something to say about that.
Just make sure you go to Avid Health and just go online and just register. It's only going for like $30 right now.
Yeah,
It's
and I
very
think
cheap.
you have until the 31st.
The 31st. That's
To
the
get it
last
done.
day.
So
it's only $30
do it.
right now.
Let's go.
And
Do
it's
it.
very imperative, man, that we go out here and check ourselves. All our women, go out here and check yourselves. My mom died from it at 46 years old, so it's very, very important.
Very important. But that's it. That's what's happening. Now, let's get right into the meat of it, all right?
What we talking about? What we talking about?
We talking about, are you standing in the way of yourself?
We all have done it.
Yeah, or standing in the way of your own success.
It happens.
Yeah. I mean, it does happen. Like, A lot of times people are afraid to take chances, and you got to take chances to be able to, find some kind of success. You have to take chances. You have to put yourself out there.
So that makes me ask, what do you think the nature of that fear is? Is it thinking that you won't be successful, or looking at the negative side of what could happen if you take this chance?
People are scared to fail. People hate failing.
People hate to fail, and then people have regrets. A lot of times maybe they've tried something in the past and they're still harping on stuff that they've done years ago. So they're not going to take that chance again to try to put themselves out there because they fear that they're going to fail again. So
well, let me ask y'all something. What's the best way to create some success?
Best way to create success?
Well, to get to the other side, to get to success.
What did Nike say?
You have to fail your way to success.
You just got to do it.
Just do it,
you
man.
Have to
just
do it.
it.
Just got to do it. And consistency.
Being
we talked
consistent
about that earlier.
The key. It's the key.
Got to be consistent. And that's the hard part, though.
Yeah. I mean, you got to understand that success does not happen overnight. This happens in all types of different industries, different whatever you're into. Success does not happen overnight. You're not gonna get huge overnight if you're someone that's trying to work out. You're not gonna get huge overnight. You're not gonna get big overnight. Success takes time, and you have to be patient, and you have to just make sure that you're doing a little bit every day.
And
you have to stay consistent.
And that's facts, Rudy. People only see the finish line.
Yeah.
They never see you getting it out the mud.
No, they don't.
They never see the grind and the hustle.
They don't.
It's always the finish line. And some people will push their own goal post back. They'll keep pushing their goals back further and further, and that they unreachable.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to step out your own way just to create that lane.
Yeah,
and keep moving.
What you said about people only seeing the finish line, we talked about it.
Yes.
Was it the last podcast, I think, about social media.
Oh,
and
man.
the perfection that we get to show on social media, that's the finish line right there.
That's the finish line.
But how many selfies were taken before you got the right one? Or how many videos did you do before you got the right one? It's tough. It's tough for people to see, like, you got to put the work in.
You know what? I want to actually do this. This is the first time that I'm actually going live on this episode, like these episodes. So people are watching on Instagram, and I like to actually hear what they have to say as well. What do you think is the reason why people are always in their way? So come on, let's hear what you guys think.
Come on,
let's hear it.
Exactly.
But it's crazy, man, because people don't try to put themselves out there anymore. It's the fear. What was the word we used before? WOMO, fear of missing out.
FOMO.
FOMO.
Yeah.
Great word. Great phrase.
So I don't know, but
well, I like what Jordan said too as well. I mean, we may fail 1,000 times, but only the strong gonna get back up, right?
Yeah.
Got to keep pushing.
What did she say? Keep on swimming. Just keep swimming. Keep swimming.
It's there's that saying out there that no one is going to come out and save you. So nobody is going to come out and be successful for you. You know what I mean? You have to go out and do what you need to do to strive for that success. Put the work in. Stay consistent.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
But anyways, I do thank you guys for watching a little bit of this clip. I want you to know you can always check us out. Go to YouTube to find the videos, or wherever you listen to your podcast, go check it out. We're on iHeart Radio. We're on Apple Music. We're on everything.
Spotify.
Go
YouTube,
check us out.
Chest out.
All right, chest out.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so on another note, one of the biggest things I would say is probably being inconsistent, right?
That's huge.
Do you think that's probably one of the biggest reasons why people actually get in their own way, is not being consistent?
Absolutely.
I think that's 95% of it.
95% of it?
I think that's 95% why people fail.
Expound on that a little bit.
So let's say this here, right? I've been on social media for the last, let's say 4 years. Mm-hmm. And I used to always compare myself to people on social media, and I'm not talking about the things that they was doing, the success they had on social media, the failures, the wins, the losses, and stuff like that. I'm talking about the number game. The more numbers that you have on social media, the bigger the fan base, right?
Okay.
Yeah, very true.
What does that have to do with them staying consistent.
So let's say this here. I used to always wonder why I was stuck at 2,900 people on social media, on my Instagram. And I would go check Rudy's social media, Mr. G.I. Joe.
Haitian Sensation. And Rudy number was growing by the day. I would watch Rudy go from 10,000 to 15,000. Matter of fact, to 14,000. I remember like yesterday when your numbers just kept increasing, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering why I'm stuck in mud. But I wasn't being consistent with my pictures, with my posts, with my diet. So you really combine to the person that I was supposed to be promoting, like my brand.
And that's funny you say that, but it actually deals with not just social media. It deals with everything in life. You have to be consistent. If you want a goal, again, like I mentioned earlier, if you want a goal, it's not going to happen overnight, right? If it doesn't happen like within a week, do you just give up? No. Nope. You keep going until you start seeing results, and then once you see results, you go even harder.
And that's why
you never stop.
And that's why when I put my goalpost in a certain position, I go for that and I score. I don't just keep pushing it back, keep making my dreams harder, my goals harder. Mm-hmm. I stay consistent now just to get to my goals.
And I think once you achieve that goal, right? Like you said, Rudy, you said you never stop, right? Mm-hmm. But you're actually chasing that euphoric feeling of that success. Like, okay, I've achieved it. I got that, right? But now I got to go further because I got to get that same feeling again.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You want more.
If you want to relate it to working out or something like that, okay. So I remember when I first started going to the gym, believe me or not, I couldn't do a pull-up. All right, I was like 14. I was going with my brother, you know, my older brother. He taught me how to work out and everything, but I couldn't do a pull-up. Got in there, stayed consistent. A couple months went by. Here I am. I'm knocking out pull-ups. Shouldn't do that many, but I was able to do it.
Yeah, you stay consistent.
Consistent.
And then the more you're consistent, now your numbers are going up.
Now the numbers are going up.
Maybe the first time you were able to do a pull-up, you maybe were able to get 1 or 2. But then you kept on going. You kept on practicing. You kept on being consistent. And then you went to 10, now 30, or I don't know how many you do.
That euphoric feeling of like I reached the goal, and now I'm going to reach it even more. I'm going to push it. I'm going to excel even further. It feels amazing. It's an adrenaline rush to a certain extent that we get, or a dopamine release. I don't know, but it's what you chase, and if you can look forward to that, then that will help people to stay consistent. Like, okay, this is the treat that I'm going to get. This is the reward I'm going to get for staying consistent.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to ask you this question. Give me some good ways that I can, if I want to transform my body, I want to do a transformation, right? Say I want to bulk up and add some weight, and you're a trainer. This is what you do, right? This is one of your fields. How can I be consistent? What are some things I can do, like a vision board?
Give me the map.
Should I be writing these things down so I can see them every day so they become tangible?
Okay. Usually, when you're first starting, we're all into fitness here.
Some more than others.
So let's talk about fitness. So when someone's first getting into fitness, and I tell people that I train all the time, like keep records of what you did the previous time. That way, you know what you did and you know how far you've come and what you need to do next time to reach those goals. So before you know it, you turn the pages all the way back, you'll see that you started off doing like 10 pounds, but now 3 weeks later you're at 15. And the reason for that is because you've been consistent and you're also pushing yourself further every single time, because now what you were doing before is easy. Now you need to push yourself and actually make the goal a little bit harder. And that goes with anything in life. Like once you reach a certain point, that no longer is a goal. You're there. So slide that scale a little bit further to the right, and now you have another goal that you have to meet. And again, like Jordan mentioned, it's kind of like a treat when you get to that goal. You're happy, but the moment that you sit back and you sit there and you start just focusing on that and and then you relax, then that's when it starts to regress. You cannot be satisfied with reaching a goal. You have to go for another goal until who knows, it's limitless. Because with me, I'm never satisfied. Like, I'm never satisfied with myself. And I know that some people will come up to me and they're like, "Oh man, you're done. You won, whatever." Like, jokingly, but it's never over. Like, there's always room for improvement, and you should always strive to get those.
Well, I remember when me and Rudy first started Bill and I Imperial, right? And this is back in 2013. We sat down and we said, okay, we're going to do this thing chest out.
Okay.
And I remember Rudy sitting me down saying, bro, we got to be serious about this. We can't procrastinate. And I think a lot of people procrastinate when it comes to doing things, right? That procrastination word is very powerful.
That is like so big, like people procrastinating. And sometimes I'll catch myself procrastinating as well, but you have to be able to see when things are not going the way that they should and try to adjust and get to a different point. But it happens.
So what I do weekly, this is what I do. And I'm going to go back to when me and Rudy would start Bill and I Imperial. Bill and I soldiers, putting our soldiers together, putting things together. So what I would do myself a grading sheet. I grade myself. And I would give myself, and I don't spread myself too thin. I give myself 10 things I need to do daily, right? So what I was doing, I would write down, I wake up, pray in the morning. Number 2, I meditate. 3, kiss my wife. 4, I'm out the door. 5, I'm in the gym. So read 2 chapters a day or listen to my Audible. So what I would do, I would sit down and I would check off throughout the course of my day. If I did that gets a check. If I did number 2, that gets a check. If I got a 70 or below, I failed myself for the day. And that's how I stay consistent between that and my vision board. My vision board, if I put 15 things on that vision board that I want to accomplish for the whole year, I have to do every single thing on that board. So when I wake up in the morning, I look at that vision board and I don't compete with nobody else. This is what I have to do.
Yep.
And if I get that vision board done for the year, I'll move on to the next 10, 15 things.
Yeah, that is a great way to help yourself stay consistent. Because we all struggle with that, right?
Yes, we all do.
I've been doing something similar, actually. I've been putting everything in on my phone. I always got my phone on me, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I have a calendar on my phone, right? It's like one of the home pages. And I put in everything I got to do that day, right? If it's chest day, then I know, okay, chest day. Today was come time to film the podcast. I'm going to come put it in the calendar. There it is. Okay. I know. And that's been helping me stay consistent because I'm very forgetful with things, right? So that's been helping me. I like what you said about the reminders, though, and the vision board. I'm definitely going to try to do that. And I was today I did a interview on HMBL TV with Jonathan Barnes, dope trainer, right, out in Castleberry, Winter Park area. And he said something that I feel like applies to what we're talking about here. And I think this is what helped him stay consistent. He surrounded himself around people who worked out, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're around people who are doing a certain thing and that's what you want to do, right? So it's going to motivate you because, like, you know, you're going to be like, oh, well, you know, Rudy, I know he's going to be at the gym at 5 a.m. So I got to get there at 4:30. You know what I'm saying? You're going to surround yourself with the people, but we're all trying to reach the same goal, right? Mm-hmm. Longevity, good quality of life, taking care of our health. Yeah, we want to look good and everything, but the ultimate thing is taking care of you, right?
Yes.
In the fitness arena. And for him, it was like, I'm surrounded by this. I'm going to embrace this, and I'm going to reach my goals and use this to help me stay consistent. And I think that. You know, it was a good interview. For one, you can catch it on YouTube. But
now, switching gears, do you think that one of the reasons why people get in their own way is because of past regrets?
Ooh, let's get deep.
That's a great one. But you know, we all have our past regrets. I don't care if it comes from I did this to this person in kindergarten, called this person a bad word. Cheated on your spouse. When you was taking a test and you put A instead of B and you went back and changed the answer and you came back and said, man, why did I do that?
And then the answer was right.
And the answer was right the whole time. So I think in everyday life, I think we always question ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, dwelling on past regrets or whatever like that is, in my opinion, a waste of time. More importantly, I would say that it's a waste of mental energy. So Jordan, so have you had a situation? Let's say, have you had a situation where it's something that you didn't do right or something like that, and you kept on harping on that for a period of time? Like, have you had something like that?
Absolutely, man. Actually, and you know this story actually pretty well. So I was 19. I had just finished fire standards. I was ready to go get me a job.
Okay,
right?
I remember that.
And Orlando, City of Orlando Fire Department. That's the cream of the crop. That's where everybody wants to be. Okay, I'm 19 years old. I passed the written test. This test is super hard. So many people fail. Grown men with families, people my age, everybody failing off. I passed. I'm excited. I'm like, you know what? All right. Moving on to the next step. I got the practical exam now. We're getting physical. I go. I'm doing great. Right? I did the search and rescue. I got my gear on in time. Everything they asked me to do, I was doing good. But I was gassed. I was tired. And my muscles, I wasn't strong enough. I'm skinny now, but I was skinnier back then. Right? Came to the latter portion of the test. Failed it miserably. All right? That haunted me for the past 6 years. I was fortunate enough, a month later, got hired on with the Sanford Fire Department, and I grew into, my career and everything like that. But for 6 years, I was like, nah, I'm not going to go back there and take that test, yada, yada. But truth be told, I was preparing my body and my mind for it. I was able to go and get my degree within that time. I was able to go and get all my special ops courses during that time. I became a paramedic during that time. I was preparing myself for something bigger than what I had at the time. I just didn't know if it was going to be Orlando. Every time, they would be hiring, I would put an interest card in, but I would never put an application in. And I remember you would hit me up. Rudy would hit me up and say, "Hey man, you gonna apply?" And I come up with some lame excuse on why I'm not gonna do it, and this, that, and the third, until this last time. And I was able to go take that same test and pass it with flying colors. And now I work for the City of Orlando Fire Department.
OFD.
Great place to be, in the cream of the crop, But if I would have just let that linger in my mind and hold on to that, right? And if I didn't prepare myself, but yeah. If I would have just been like, nah, you know what? I can't do it. I'm not gonna put in any work to put in any effort to do it. I heard this about that place, that, and I would still be in the same place.
You would never reach that goal, man.
Exactly. That's my rant.
So basically, what it is you have to learn from your past mistakes and try to avoid making those, or just learn and just makes yourself better. And that's what you did. You got stronger. You got all the classes that you needed. Now you're with Orlando. You already have all those classes where some people are still, going into those classes. So you learn from that. So that's a good thing.
Station 7, baby.
Best house in the Jordan was able to move forward with his situation, right? Mm-hmm. In progress. You have incidents like mine that I can't go back and get that time back.
What's the incident?
I should have been a lot more attentive when it came to my mom. I should have showed her a lot more sensibility growing up.
That's a tough one.
That's hard.
That's hard.
Wow.
Because your mom
is
no longer here with us. So that's hard, man. So what are you doing to help with that?
So growing up, and I don't want to expand too much on this, but growing up, I had the best mom in the world. I had what I call the Oprah mom.
Okay.
Like, she was up close and personal She was like the number one mom, like everybody else. And when she got sick, it was like, where did the time go? And I was only here for 18, 19 years from the time that she passed, right? Mm-hmm. So I couldn't go back and have those conversations. So what I do now with my child, we had these conversations.
There you go. See, that's what I was waiting on. Like, what are you doing? Because obviously you can't go back and fix that situation because your mom's not here with us
for
anymore,
all the
right?
headache that I put her through, for all the turmoil that I put her through.
Exactly. So what you've done, you learn from that.
Yes.
And now you're what you're not able to do with your mom, you're doing with your wife, and you're doing with your daughter.
Exactly. So with that being said, my mom and I was able to have a conversation with my mom when she died, right? So on my mom's deathbed, it's crazy that we heard that term so much on the deathbed. She was actually on her deathbed. So we was able to converse about what she expected from me, her expectations. So I was able, and my daughter wasn't even wasn't even thought of at this time. And I had just met my wife that year. And my mom was like, Corey, just change. Just do better. So when I walk through the house now, I sit down with my daughter. We had these conversations. Every chance I get, I'm telling my daughter I love you. I'm giving her the Joel Osteen speech. You the prettiest. You the smartest person I know. I mean, you could do anything. You're incredible. Making that deposit. So I think I was able to correct that. But with that being said, people, go out here and appreciate your parents because you only get one dad, one mom. Yeah. And love them.
That's powerful, man.
And so that's basically dwelling on past regrets.
Yes.
Now, in this day and age, we know how social media rules everything, like every aspect of our lives, right? And a lot of times we start comparing ourselves to people, right? We compare ourselves to people, and that's one of the things that can actually be standing in your way because you're always comparing yourself to other people. And now with social media being so big, like years ago, you would still compare yourself to other people, right? But not the way that kids are doing it now. Like they wake up, they open their Instagram or Facebook, and they see someone doing something. They see someone else doing something, and they want that. So they're comparing themselves, and a lot of times it can depress them. It can make them feel inadequate. Okay, so what do you guys think of social media and its effect on how people are standing in their own way?
It's not all bad.
It's not.
But it can be bad. And I hate the word bad. It's so simple. But like it could be toxic. But the good thing about it is you can create the environment you want on social media. That's the power that you have. You can choose who to follow, right? And I think we mentioned this on the last podcast. I'm not sure, but
I think so. Yeah,
we did.
You can choose who to follow. You can choose what you want yourself to see, right? So going back to what I said earlier about surrounding yourself, right, with the people who are trying to achieve the goals that you are trying to achieve, right? So you can choose that on your social media. You can choose to go follow somebody who's doing what you're doing, right, and see, okay, they're doing it this way, or this might be a good. You can add it to yourself, but the viewpoint that you have a choice. I can either look at this and let it influence me, or I can look at this and let it depress me.
You hit it right on the nail. You hit it right on the nail. I could choose my demographic. I could choose who I follow.
Yeah.
And I'm going to place myself in an environment that is all positivity.
Yes.
I'm not going to follow the females that's twerking on social media. The guys,
maybe one or two. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always room for that. Yeah. Come on, Corey.
Yeah. But this is me just being subjective right now. Like, I'm not going to follow the people that's always just showing money, that's always showing the finish line.
Yeah.
How did you start, and how did you finish? So that's what I'm looking at.
I got you.
Looking at. So if I want to get bigger, add 10 pounds, and add some muscle mass, I'm gonna follow somebody like Rudy. If I want the best podcast in the game, I'm gonna follow Joe Rogan.
And Say It With Your Chest podcast.
And Say It With Your Chest podcast.
Come on.
Well, how can I follow myself?
Shameless.
So it's all about your outset, how you want to deal with different things, and who you want to follow, the goals that you want to set for yourself, the people that you want to put yourself around to make yourself better.
Yeah, and to add to that point real quick, what you said earlier about like kids are getting up and they're seeing and they're comparing themselves to these people. It's tough because it can so easily become so toxic, right? Because if you're that kid, you're seeing a kid over in China or wherever, you don't know this person. You've never sat down and had a conversation with this person. All you see, like Corey said, is the finish line of what this person is doing. And then if you're choosing to compare yourself to said individual, you gotta really snap back to reality. Like you said, when we were younger, there was no social media. So it was like, if you were comparing yourself to somebody, it was your neighbor down the street or the kids that you play outside with, right? Or the kids that you go to school with. It was local. Now it's so broad and so big that it's like, it's so easy to go in the wrong direction.
The whole world is at your fingertips.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say is that social media, it can be like a sinkhole. It's a sinkhole for your time and energy. You can just go on social media, and before you know it, you're way off here, and that's not what you even went there for.
Yeah, like those twerk videos.
Like, so you're before you know it, like let's say you just pull up your phone and you just want to just check on something real quick, but then you see this, then you click on it, then you're there. It's like the internet. You go on it, and then before you know it, you're way off topic where somewhere else, and that's not even where you wanted to go. So it takes a lot of your time and energy, and before you know it, you're on Instagram or Facebook for like 4 hours, 3 hours. But they have things now that can actually help you to track how much time you're on the internet, how much time you're on social
There's
media.
an app for that.
So that's a solution for people not comparing themselves to people on social media. Manage your time with it.
Manage your time. Who was it? I think it was Big Boy from Outkast. It was in that movie ATL.
Mm-hmm.
I think he said this. I heard it somewhere I think it was from him. He said, get you some business, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to get you some business. And if my suggestion is, if you're finding yourself distracted on social media consistently, and like you're spending hours a day on it, all right, look at that. Okay, so I spent 2 hours today on social media. I'm going to take an hour out of that tomorrow, and I'm going to invest it into myself. I'm going to get me some business. I'm going to get me something to do for that hour, so that now if I go get on social media for another hour, it's a reward, because, I spent this time doing something for myself, right? Mm-hmm. And creating something for myself, getting me some business, and I like that approach.
And you know what? I like that, what you just said, and the echo that, Jordan. Nowadays, we have to get ourselves some, what we call, go back to reality and get ourselves some real life career coaches, influencers. We need to start looking at people like, what happened to our parents being our superheroes? What happened to me looking at my father, a person that came from New York, moved to Midway, which he was very impoverished, very much so. And my dad couldn't read or write. My dad had a ninth grade education. My dad married my mom at 16. Well, not 16, but 19, but they was together ever since they were 14, 16. And my dad would go on a job, can't read or write, go on a job, taught himself how to write, how to read. My dad was able to look at a bulldozer, look at a dump truck, get behind the wheel himself. They didn't have Google back then. Self-taught himself everything. My dad had 3 kids. My dad retired at the age of 59, 60 years old, 35 years on the job.
Yeah.
My dad is a full-time pastor at Well Salvation, and he's very successful. So instead of me being on social media sometimes, I fast every 2 months. I do a 30-day fast from social media, because like you said, and this is the part I want to echo, instead of me doing 3 hours on social media, I take an hour from that and I do something to push myself forward now.
Yep.
So now I would rather pick up the phone with my dad and say, Dad, how do I do this? Well, let's just have a conversation about something. And my dad is so influential when it comes to my life now. But that's why I look at my dad like my dad's my superhero.
Yeah.
So I try to distance myself from so much social media and look at reality and look at people as a whole, and I can learn from them.
Yeah.
And it's important, too, that we know that half the things you see on social media isn't true. Like, people want to portray something, so they'll borrow somebody's car, they'll be on their friend's yacht or things like that, and people are looking at this stuff and they're like, damn, I wanna live that kind of life. But half of the things on social media isn't true. So
I want to say that those twerk videos are true. She is doing that.
Oh, okay. She is making it move like that.
Who are we talking about?
I don't know. I'm sure there's some twerking video.
I can tag somebody.
You know the crazy thing about that, fellas, I would drive certain cars, right? And I pull up somewhere. And this is not me bragging or anything like that. And I don't know if Rudy's seen it when he's with me before. They would want to take a picture in front of the car or in the car just to post the picture.
Yep.
Well, speaking of, you said who is that? There's this one, Nastia Nas, and I gotta give her credit, right? Mm-hmm. She took making twerk videos on Instagram, right, into a business for herself, literally.
Are we talking about an OnlyFans page?
But see, no. Like it's an Instagram page, but she has twerk classes. She'll go out and teach girls how to do what she does. She has these certain shorts that she wears, and now she's selling those shorts for people to do it. And just that simple.
Like I said on a previous podcast, what you're searching for, you'll find. And if there's an opportunity out there, people will find a way. So Instagram, social media, those things, it's not all bad. I'm just saying, like, as far as just people that are looking at others and trying to mimic or be those people.
Comparing themselves.
Yeah, you don't want to compare. If they're doing something great, you can tell yourself, okay, I want to do something great, and go ahead and try to do that. But when you're looking at someone and you think they're doing all these great things, and then you feel bad about yourself, that's when it's toxic.
Well, social media is like 95% fake news.
Exactly.
It's fake. But I want people to understand this. A lot of these celebrities are not even running their own page.
Yeah, I know that.
They got people posting stuff.
It.
They got PRs doing stuff on their page for them just to attract you, to drive you to their traffic, drive traffic to them. Mm-hmm. So that's why they're doing things like that. So they don't even work their own social media. So stop following these people. That's not tangible.
Okay. Now, another way that, switching topics real quick, sorry. Another way that we get in our own way is people that one day they're doing a whole lot, right? They're cleaning the house. They're mailing things out. They're doing so from morning to night. They're busy. But then the next day, nothing. So that's another way that people get in their way, is when they're not managing their time properly.
Why don't you think they're managing their time properly?
Because they ain't got no business.
Yeah. So what do we need to do to be able to manage our time? Like, you kind of
score sheet.
Yeah, you actually mentioned it earlier. Having a score sheet or a list of things you want to do.
Well, a daily journal.
Yeah, a daily journal. Now, keep in mind, these things don't have to be like, okay, I'm going to spend 5 hours doing this and 5 hours doing it. Doesn't even have to be like that. Like, give yourself some time, some time that you know that you can actually spend on it, and it's not going to be crazy. It's not going to ruin your entire day. But give yourself that list, and once you accomplish each thing, you can put a little check next to it. But also, what you have to do is be able to reward yourself. Once you do something like that, or you get to a little goal and you pass it or is successful, reward yourself
because you deserve it. You worked for that.
You deserve it. Like, a lot of times, people don't reward themselves. As far as an athlete or a bodybuilder, we actually have to reward ourselves as well. Like, if you're competing and you're strict on your diet, like chicken, broccoli,
turkey.
I mean,
Rudy eat turkey every day.
Yeah, turkey.
Jive turkey.
Turkey. It's like turkey every day, man. I'm like, but you're on it. You're on it and on it. Like you have to, every once in a while, and what people call
because
is a cheat meal. You have to reward yourself for all the hard work that you've put in. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. Like you could have been doing whatever everybody else is doing, and sometimes you're at a party and they're eating everything else, but you can't. I mean, every once in a while, go ahead. Have a cheeseburger or something.
Life is meant to be enjoyed.
Yeah,
exactly.
As long as you just because you have a goal and you say you're a bodybuilder, so you gotta meet certain deadlines with certain things. You gotta burn this amount of fat, all that stuff. Doesn't mean you don't enjoy yourself.
Exactly.
You reward yourself in whichever way you choose to reward yourself, but then you get right back on being consistent.
Well, that's called discipline too, as well.
It's discipline. It's being consistent. Like you go and you have that cheat meal. I didn't say a cheat day. Some people get overboard.
I confuse that.
Some people get overboard.
That's my problem.
And they have a whole cheat day where
cheat
they
weekends.
A cheat day turns into a cheat week.
And you're eating everything under the sun, pizza, all that other stuff, like all day, every day. Like
it's called relapsing.
Man, but then
jalapeno chips, man.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, why are we talking about food right now? But see, you do that, and then you kind of forget that you have to go back on it.
Yeah.
See, the problem isn't having that cheat meal. It's making that cheat meal another cheat meal or cheat day in 2 days, 3 days, and not going back to that diet. It's okay to reward yourself, but go back the next day, go back. And sometimes people, they'll mess up, they'll relapse or whatever. You can always go back. Don't let your mistake carry on and you build on that mistake, and before you know it, it's a boulder.
It's a snowball effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's say this: a lot of people focus more on the bigger goals than the small goals. I treat myself when I do something, I accomplish something big. I treat myself when it comes to something small. So if I do my list throughout the course of the day, I can't. And this is one of my things that I do. I don't turn on the I work from home. I have my home office, which is chest out home office. I have a television in my office. Once I get done with all my goals, at 7, 8 o'clock, dinner is done, and I could treat myself to 1 hour of television.
That's very disciplined.
Very disciplined.
But see, it works for you. And so, we have to find what works for us. Like, I couldn't be like, okay, well, that's what you're doing, Corey. I'm going to do the same thing. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for me, but find something that works for you and that you can stick to. Do not look at the other person and be like, okay, I want to do exactly what that person does. You can learn from what they're doing, but you don't have to do exactly what that person does. But find something that works for you, stick with it, stay consistent, and you'll reach your goals.
And you know what? That crazy person in the gym that's watching Rudy, and Rudy's doing a routine, they come right next to you do that same routine. You could tell when people are trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't mind. Like, if I'm doing something and I see somebody doing it, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm doing something right. And if I see that they're doing it wrong, I might go over there and
that's the good
and help them out.
Going back to what you were saying, Rudy, it's all about finding that balance.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It's all about finding that balance of whatever your goal is, and then life.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want to enjoy yourself. I read David Goggins' book, and he kept an accountability mirror.
One of my best books I've ever read.
Okay, did you start doing what you did after you read that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
He had an accountability mirror,
amazing.
and he would just write, just like Corey does, a couple goals on the mirror. So when he would look in the mirror and see himself, see the goals, it's like, have I done that? Have I accomplished it yet? But you got to give yourself time too, because you might write a goal. It don't mean you're gonna get it done next week or tomorrow. You go, give yourself time.
Give yourself realistic time.
Yeah, but see, there was an Instagram post that I liked. I think it said, if you say I'm going to get it done in 30 days, right? You'll get it done within 30 days. But if you say I'm going to get it done within 3 days, you will find the time to get it done within 3 days, right? And I could be misquoting it out here. My memory's not the greatest, y'all, so just relax. But that basically, give yourself, okay, so start January 1, right? I got this goal. By June 1st, I want to have this accomplished. So if you haven't done anything and it's May 28th, you're like, oh, I haven't reached that goal. You failed at this point, right? But within that 6 months, if you found time to say, one day I'm going to give an hour to it. Next day I'm going to give an hour to it. I'm going to give 2 hours to it. And then June 1st came, it's like, man, I finished that back in April. You'll find the time to do it if you set a date.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times it's hard for people to make decisions. We actually spend more time stressing over our decision that we have to make rather than actually making those decisions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
What I would say is, I know sometimes we'll create a list, but what you can do, you can actually create a pros and cons list as well.
Facts.
And then so that's going to actually help you to get started. And a lot of times, if the hardest thing to do is to get started. I remember back in school when I had like a big assignment that I needed to do, the hardest thing for me to do was to actually figure out what I wanted to do. But then once I figured out what I wanted to do, I got started, it was easy. But the hardest thing, and I would stress over it a lot. I hate those huge assignments or essays or whatever you have to do. But once I got started, it got easy for me.
I think if you can find a way to find enjoyment in these things too, that's what you were talking about, doing essays and school assignments and everything like that. And like with things of that nature or with anything, you got to find you got to look at the glass half full. Right, as opposed to looking at it like I don't want to do this at all, and like the negative. Oh, the glass is half empty. Be optimistic. Okay, I have to do it. So how can I enjoy it and take that and run with it?
An easy way to kind of enjoy it is pick something that you actually enjoy, either talking about or writing about, and so it's going to be interesting to you. And if it is interesting to you, then you'll actually, do better with that.
I want to say my dad is my superhero and he's my Black Panther.
Shout out to all the fathers out there.
All the fathers, all the good fathers, man.
Yeah.
Pops, folk, I see you, man.
Man, we love y'all, man.
I call my dad every day. We talk every day, even if it's for 5 minutes. We wasn't feeling too good this week. He got a little mad at me today when I was talking to him because I disagreed with his opinion on something. But that's my boy, man. Like that's literally my best friend. Like,
you know what? Actually, speaking on fathers,
my dad the same way.
Fathers or mothers or people that you're related to, have you ever heard them say, you should this person looks good for you. You should be with that person, or you should do this, or you should study this, or you should be a lawyer, you should be a doctor.
Yeah,
you heard that?
Yeah, of course.
And that's basically outside influences. A lot of times people let the outside impact what they got internally, and if you continue to let that stuff happen to you, you're gonna feel a certain way. You're gonna feel like maybe you're inadequate, or maybe you can't make your own decision. But as you're growing up, especially Caribbean families, Haitian families, they already have a plan for you from the time that you were born, what you're gonna be, what you're gonna do. They already have a plan. They already know what you're gonna do, what you're gonna plan, what you're gonna. So they try to pass that on to you, but you have to realize that they're not living your life. People on the outside are not living your life. So you have to be able to make your own decisions and stick to them.
Yep.
So you had like a Coming to America life. Everything was already pre-planned for you. I
mean, a lot of times parents, that's how they think. Like you can have a son or something, and let's say your parents are into sports. They're gonna want their kids to follow their footsteps or be in sports. I mean, that's what we do as parents. But what you should do is know that it's coming from a good place. It is coming from a good place, but you're still your own person, so you have to make your own decisions.
Well, I can't agree with that and disagree. We can agree to disagree, right?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So, even in my situation, I'm building my part of chest out so my daughter can take it over one day. I can't always run chest out for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to have some. I mean, it's not like I have a son, but my daughter, I mean, she has to reap the benefits.
I understand where you're coming from with that.
But if she does not want to, I'm fine with that.
Okay, see, that's where I was gonna go.
No, I'm fine with that.
It's fine for you as a parent to want something for your kids, but then if they decide and make up their own mind that they want to go a different direction, support that. But we cannot, force things on our kids. And then they have to know that whatever decision that they make, that we're gonna support it.
Well, it doesn't just come from that outside influence. It doesn't just come from like family or anything like that.
It comes from everything.
Everything, yeah. Like everyone seems like they have an opinion on how they see your life's supposed to go or what you should do. And if you choose to listen to that, like not saying that everything is bad, that you shouldn't listen to what anybody says, right? But my mom has a saying. She says, just put it on the shelf. And if you come back to it, you come back to it. If you don't, you don't. So people's opinions, they matter to a point, and people's view of what you should be doing, it matters to a point. At the end of the day, what's going to make you happy?
Let's not. And there's always going to be someone out there that wants something for you that you probably don't even want for yourself. And they're out there. They're going to tell you how to live your life, what you should do, what they did when they were younger, what you should do, but don't let that affect you. Like, take the good, obviously take the good.
Yeah.
But and learn from that. Take the good, but then put your own little spin on it as well.
But I think on the flip side, I think we want to pass these things and pass this torch off to our kids and family members because we built something that was so powerful. We built empires. So if we know that we're successful with this business, if I pass it to you, I want you to be successful too as well. So I'm trying to put you in position because a lot of Jewish people, bro, they do things nowadays to set their family up. They create generational wealth.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to do the same thing with my child.
That's a podcast within itself right there.
Exactly.
There's different avenues we can go down with that. I think the gist of it is get out of your own way.
Yes.
But also don't let nobody get in your way.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
No,
it does make sense.
Because if you let them in your way and you give them, if you let them write your narrative, you should always write your own narrative.
Exactly.
So if you in my way, I'm only at fault for that situation. Because I can easily move Rudy over and say, listen, this is about me right now.
That's why Tariq killed Ghost on Power, and I haven't gotten over it yet.
Oh man,
okay.
That was horrible.
So final thoughts, Corey. What's your final thoughts on this?
It just stop looking at social media as your motivation. Stop looking at other people as your measuring stick. Do what you have to do in life. Run your own race. Stop standing in your own way when it comes to your life goals. Make long-term goals and short-term goals. And when you accomplish these goals, treat yourself. And take my L's and turn my L's into W's.
Yes, sir. What about you, Jordan?
I think I already pretty much said the gist of it, but just to expound on it a little bit more, recognize the power that you have as an individual. Don't look at nobody else. Turn off the social media for a day and just, who are you? What are you passionate about? Get out of your way and make it happen, whatever it is. And you'll be successful. You just got to stay consistent and categorize how you're going to do things.
Well said. Just make sure to know that you are the master of your own fate.
Who's the master?
You're the master of your own fate. And whatever you put your mind to, you can accomplish. Don't look too much to the outside influences, social media or what have you. Just know that if you put in the time, you will reap the rewards as long as you are dedicated, consistent with it.
And stop looking to your left, stop looking to your right, and look straight ahead.
You got to take care of your own health, mind, body, and life.
That's
and
why horses wear blinders.
Exactly. All right, so this was another episode of Say It With Your Chest. Don't forget, go check out the website, chest.sports.com. Make sure to turn on your notifications.
Click the bell.
And click the bell.
Click the bell. Subscribe. Hey.
And this episode is going to be on YouTube, and you can get our audio on all your major podcast outlets. All right? So, we are out. Let me get 2 chest beats and a Ric Flair. Woo! Wake up, stop napping. Watch, get up, it happens. Try, that's just a fraction. Pop, I don't stop trapping. Try, that's